Hey everyone, I'm Jason.
And I'm Colton, and today we're reviewing Long Live the Queen for PC.
I should really apologize before we start giving this review, because this game's going to probably offend everyone in existence forever.
Yeah, so clench your buttholes. We're going in
sorry.
deep. This game is a visual novel, and we're going to take just a moment and explain what those are. So a visual novel, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is a style of game that involves a lot of... They're almost like point-and-click adventure games where the main focus of the story is usually the plot and the decision-making of the player influencing that plot. Popular examples of these games include Phoenix Wright, you may be familiar with. Also, you've got... 999 is a slightly less... That was a PSP or a DS game, I believe, is a visual novel horror game. And that's pretty much it. They're usually less involved than like your standard RPGs or other types of games where you know, lots of button inputs, lots of things like that. It allows the players to really get sucked in. But that's what a visual novel is, and that's what Long Live the Queen is a
lot of them are very not safe for work, though. A lot of them, at least the ones on PC, are pretty vile.
Phoenix Wright's pretty remotely
But that's not
PC. Yeah, no, that's DS. Anyway.
But the goal of the game is pretty simple.
Yes, tell us, Jason. What is...
The goal of the... I'll tell you if you ever shut up. The goal of the game is to learn to control and harness the emotions of a pink-haired 14-year-old princess to unleash her potential and do something positive in the world. Now, we know that's never going to work. You know, you've met a 14-year-old before. This shit is clearly impossible because...
You are doomed for failure from the start.
Absolutely, because no matter how much time you invest, or rather waste, Darren, no matter how hard you work... Whether you put together Excel sheets, you plan, you experiment, no force on earth can save you, because how are you going to harness a 14-year-old princess's emotions for the betterment of anything? I don't think you could save in this game, can you?
If you can, I haven't discovered how. It says there's a load game option, but I believe it is there to
mislead,
to bring to light the folly of man. So the game is played in turns. As you can see on your screen, your turn begins by this screen here where you're kind of in a boarding school, I guess. You're in a part of the castle.
You're in a part of the castle.
You get to you get to view your mood, and you can select classes that you want to take, and there are a lot of different categories.
And spoiler warning, you're almost always angry or depressed. Like any good 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, your emotions swing erratically, and it's not very well explained as to why.
Or helpful.
Yeah, or helpful. But different moods allow you to do better in different subjects, and each category that you see has 3 or 4 subcategories. So the number of skills that you have to spend time investing points into jumps from 0 to a million in 0.2 seconds.
It's kind of like GURPS, the old 80s tabletop game, where you spend 2.5 days creating a character, only it's anime.
It's actually...
And you die a lot.
A really solid comparison is to compare it to the 90s Palladium tabletop games, wherein you spend 2.5 days making your character and forging this really interesting and unique skill set, only to hurl the character sheet in a crumpled wad of frustration at your overweight neckbeard DM friend who has suddenly told you, no, you can't be a mutant turtle with 6 arms.
You sound a little personally frustrated by that.
Moving on. So you check your mood, you invest points in your stats, and then you take the classes and lessons, and that ups your points, your proficiency in those skills.
They are so important, and no matter how hard you try, you will never be prepared enough for every eventuality. I hope you're ready to die.
The footage you're seeing on your screen is actually from our stream that we did of this game. And when you invest the points through the classes and lessons, you move on to the next phase of your turn, because the game is played in turns.
The event phase.
Yeah, the event phase, where you're presented with impossible to pass random skill checks that will have absolutely nothing to do with all of the time you just spent learning something, and the game says bend over and bite the pillow because I'm going in dry. There are also, hidden throughout these event segments, there are, and I'm making air quotes symbols with my fingers that you can't see, plot segments wherein the story of the game is advanced. Now, in our playthrough on the stream, the plot revolved around us beheading everyone.
Anyone we could possibly get our hands on that maybe offended us a little bit.
Because during these plot segments, you'll be presented with choices that allow you to make decisions for the betterment or detriment of your kingdom.
And these also come with skill checks.
Because when a man has been cheating on his wife and then is suspected of high treason, the decision whether or not to behead him or throw him to the dungeon should be left to a 14-year-old girl.
This man also wants to sleep with the 14-year-old girl. Let's not leave that alone.
No, we should leave it alone. We should leave it way the hell alone. But during these plot segments, your skills are tested. Like, you have, basically, it's very tabletop like. You're presented a check challenge. And
you roll a d20 and it's all covered in ones.
It basically, yeah, essentially, you roll a die, of a non-visual die, and it basically checks your skill and probability against whatever the required cap is to pass that event.
8 million.
And then you fail, and either you or someone you know is grievously injured or dies.
Or is raped by tentacles or men.
Because this game came
carriages.
from Japan or something, I suspect.
How many skill checks did we succeed in the stream?
In an hour and 20 minutes of gameplay, we succeeded at 2 skill checks 100%, but they weren't 100% because we failed that there are multiple skill checks in a cutscene sometimes, and we might pass 1 out of the 3. We also had 2 partial successes
that we did.
Wherein your skill is almost good enough to pass the event, which it's a frustrating ball of shit.
It's like saying we're not going to pants you in gym class, but we do punch you in the dick instead.
Yes. And we encourage men, women, and beasts to laugh as well. To quote a great writer. Then after all this is done, you move on to the next phase of your turns, which are the conclusive activities, where these are where you do things that affect your mood to make yourself better at learning other skills, because like we said earlier, your skills are affected by your mood. So being angry makes you better at learning military things, because that makes sense. And being depressed makes you great at learning conversation skills. No, it doesn't. It makes you bad at that. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe this is why we didn't have success with this game.
That might have something to do with it. I'm willing to bet.
It's a very deep game. As much as I hate to admit it, you probably would need an Excel spreadsheet to progress in this game.
Our boss, I believe, actually has one.
In an hour and a half of playing, we made it to turn 30, I think, 32.
Yeah, we almost got to turn 40.
Which that's the goal of the game, is to survive to turn 40.
No, actually, the goal you can go much farther
50.
than
No,
that.
it's 50. It's 52, isn't it? Because you need to survive a year.
Moral
of the story: survive longer than we did. Survive
Yes.
longer than we did.
When me and Darren were at Smite World Championships, he played it every single night after we got home from the tournament, and he died, I would guess, an average of 5 times a night. Several of those were involved him getting tentacle raped by the evil Witch King.
Which was a sight to behold.
I tried my hardest not to laugh. Spoiler warning, it didn't work.
Okay, so final thoughts on the game.
One of the things I desperately hate, is the music is almost always the same. It drives me absolutely batty.
Yes, the music is very repetitive, and the difficulty curve, the difficulty curve of the skill checks and everything like that is just absolutely outrageous. This is a game that I would recommend that you play if you fucking hate yourself. It's absolutely it was fun to play in that it was ridiculous, but at the same time, I feel like if I had just been playing this by myself, I would have quit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was playing it for the amusement of others, which is probably... I don't want to say this game was made for that, but it feels like it almost was. Like it was made to be a streamed game. Like
it was definitely made to get other people to laugh at your misfortune.
Yes, it's Schadenfreude the video game. So that's Long Live the Queen. It's available now on Steam. You can go buy it now if you want. It was on sale last week. Its regular price is $9.99. You can go buy this game.
It's definitely a lot of fun
if you hate yourself and
yes.
if you love math.
Always remember these wise words that a man smarter than us has said. Concerning Long Live the Queen, no matter how good you are, no matter how carefully you plan every step, you're still going to be butt-fucked in the end by the Witch King. So stop pretending you have a future and get this game.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as a final treat, we're going to give you just a short glimpse into the stream, which you can view in full at youtube.com/c/thebottom-tier, which I'll link to in the description. Please go check it out. It's on this channel, and you will now... well, I'll just go ahead and let the game speak for itself for a moment.
In this game, and be prepared.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, I told you, dude, there's a lot
I opened this shit and it's like an encyclopedia. Jesus. D&D characters don't have this many goddamn stats.
This girl is beyond a D&D character.
This is like GURPS. This is GURPS level status.
I'm depressed and afraid and sort of willful. Feeling a little pressured. Not gonna lie. Outfit.
Depressed.
All right, so
classes. Hold the fuck up. We got some classes here. Okay. So we can take these are all classes we can take later, right? Do we take one right now?
You take them right now, but I'm gonna explain
about
to you
every turn.
before you jump in and get yourself sodomized on like turn 4. Let's break this down. All right, so your mood is going to change depending on what's going on, and it gives you boons and banes to like how fast you can learn your skills. And your skills are going to determine what happens within the story of this game. So if you're just messing around and not learning the right things at the right time, you're going to find yourself a useless little pink-haired princess amidst a bunch of really...
You'll fail every single skill check ever.
Yes. Lots of skill checks, lots of failing. So, on the bright side, when you're on the skills menu, it'll show you right there what your current mood helps you with. So you can go to skills and you can plan out your lessons for the week. You get to choose 2 lessons each week, and yeah, you can learn the same thing twice if you really want to like have a cram session. And here's the trick. Not only does your mood affect it, but you notice how on the classes, each one, there's 4 colors here.
Yeah.
If you learn anything within one of those colors, it will give you a slight boost for learning anything else within the same color.
Huh. Okay.
So
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really listening, so I'm gonna go ahead and
in traditional Colton fashion, I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Well, it just kind of went in one ear, out the other.
A little bit. Now, we're gonna take expression and animal handling because we have bonuses to both of those.
Why are we doing that?
Because we have bonuses to both of those right now.
So
and
what?
Gains.
How? Gains aren't everything.
But I did pick
Jason,
a morning and an evening
Jason,
class.
when do you know if your masturbating dog is going to come in handy or not? You don't train
Never,
it.
I hope.
You don't train it, you never know.
Well, Princess Colton's a bad bitch, though. He ain't afraid.
Princess Colton is a bad bitch.